All right. I have been waiting for quite a while to bring this information to you guys. Marcy and I were talking about this quite a while ago, and here we are. So let's talk about activation. Many of you, we've heard about it here at LifeVantage because we are the activation company. But let me share with you, this is not about what we already know. This is what the other 8 billion people out there do not know, because we are literally revolutionizing the way that we approach global health with this concept of activation. So consider it the most important health breakthrough of the century that you've never heard of, because that's how people who are ignorant about this will treat this, because it is literally that big. So it's kind of like, think of it as being one of Steve Jobs' roommates or one of Jeff Bezos' roommates back in the day, and you'll understand why I use them as an example here in a couple slides. So let's talk. So we're talking about activation, but let's talk about where this whole thing started. So if you look at those garage doors, Apple, Google, and Amazon were started in the garage of Steve Jobs, Larry Page, and Jeff Bezos, respectively. But all of these gentlemen who developed these global brands had friends in their sphere that they shared this information with way back in the day. And there was people that didn't listen. Guess what? Every single one of those people, and we know some of their names, people that do history, the historians, they don't want you to know their name because they missed out on one of the most amazing opportunities the world has ever seen. Well, I will tell you that not everybody has an Apple computer, and it started with computing, personal computing. Google started with seeking out information, and Amazon started with selling books online. Not everybody knows how to read. Not everybody wants to know information and where they can get it. And not everybody now has a phone or even wants one. But every person who has one and can say, yes, I want it or not, they're still a human being. Every single human being breathes air. And every single human being has the opportunity to learn about something that we know that is greater than the information that those people shared with the world. So this is where it all started for them. Where it all started for us, and maybe some of you, is tonight, because I want to make the comparison. Why did I choose these three companies? Well, you will see here in a bit, because they have something in common with LifeVantage, and maybe not what you think. So that's where that started. Well, I want to share with you where this whole concept of activation started. It started on the 14th of April, 2003. So literally, what are we? So 21 years and 8 days ago. They celebrated on April 14th, 2003, the Human Genome Project was completed, a 13-year project. They started looking at the human DNA strain in 1990. Universally, there was researchers and scientists from all over the world who they were part of this 13-year international collective called the Human Genome Project. Well, on that day, the 14th of April, 2003, they finalized looking at every single activation pathway along the human DNA strain, and they quantified it and they defined it. Well, that was where it all started for LifeVantage. Now, guess what also happened later that same year? Our flagship product, Protandim NRF2 Synergizer, which it was not called Protandim NRF2 Synergizer back then. It was just called Protandim. And here's a fun fact, guys. We didn't even talk about NRF2 when we released Protandim, because we didn't know it triggered NRF2. We didn't really even know about activation. We just knew that these 5 plants, when given to human subjects, lowered oxidative stress. We didn't find out until later why. We just knew that it did, but we didn't know about the NRF2 pathway. In fact, if you read the first 2 research studies that we had published, they don't mention NRF2 because we didn't even know about it yet. So we literally stumbled across, well, I would say it was divine orchestration, but this is where it happened for us as a company in the pursuit of activating some of those DNA pathways along that Human Genome Project that they completed studying in April of 2003. Well, the US government was part of that research project, part of that team of international researchers. And there is the National Human Genome Research Institute. This is actually what the cover page of their website looks like. I went there today and took this screenshot. So this is a global effort, but it's a big, big, big deal. And this is where it started. From that moment of the 14th of April, 2003, the race was on for global researchers and scientists and doctors and people that wanted to figure out how to take this newfound discovery and capitalize on it. And I say capitalize on it because most of them were focused on the profit potential. And I'll share with you how I know that conclusively. But the race was on. And so far to date, we are now the 22nd of April, 2024. As I said, 21 days or 21 years and 8 days after the project was completed, we are the only activation company, and we are the only company that is doing it right now, as I share this information with you, that is an Achilles heel for us because we're the only fish in the game. We're the only fish in a massive blue ocean, which is the positive. We will always be first. The negative, there's not enough people talking about this activation story, but not for lack of trying. And let me share with you what I mean. Back in 2013, Time Magazine cover story came out with "Can Google Solve Death?" And it said, the search giant is launching a venture to extend the human lifespan. That would be crazy if it weren't Google. Well, it wasn't just Google. And I will share with you the press release that they announced on September 13th of 2013, or maybe the 18th, I'm not sure which, but it also started making news. Discover Magazine, which is a scientist-based or a science-based magazine, on the cover, Science of Aging. Does DNA hold the secrets to longevity? Well, they just literally completed back in 2013, and that study, in fact, I've got that article right here, was in, what year was it? 2016. Here's the actual magazine right here. So when I got involved with LifeVantage, I was looking, and I knew it was a big deal. I was looking for confirmation in magazines every single where I went. Every single time I jumped on a plane to go travel to support our team, I looked for magazines, and I compiled quite a bit. And I don't want to share those ones yet because that was the pivoting point. But Time Magazine, look at this one. This baby could live to be 142 years old. You're going to see that on this next slide. So I actually have the hard copies still of these magazines. National Geographic is a picture magazine. Why would they put this cover on one of their magazines? The DNA Revolution. With new gene editing techniques, we can transform life, but should we? It instantly took a little twist into an ethical conversation. More on that later, because we're talking now about nanotechnology and mRNA technology, enhancing or doing whatever we can with genes. And I'll share with you why they're even going down that road. But again, Time Magazine, I just showed you that cover. This right here, these two articles, and I've got them right here. Here's the actual magazine. This is The Economist and Bloomberg Business Week. Why were these two magazine cover stories pivotal in this entire study, or in this entire story that I'm sharing with you? Because a scientific possibility just turned into an economic equation, such that it became the cover story of The Economist, which is it's a finance magazine, and Bloomberg Business Week is a business magazine. Cover story worthy, because the people that read these magazines are entrepreneurs. They're capitalists. They're people that are very much involved in making profits. And when we're talking about something that could change literally human history moving forward and change everything moving forward, there's profit potential. The cool thing about it is every one of these publications came out years after LifeVantage already had activating products to the market. These people didn't. And I mean, look at this, Bloomberg Business Week, the Forever Pill, inside Novartis's quest for the world's first anti-aging drug. That was, what year was that? 2015. The world's first anti-aging drug. We're talking 6 years late to the game, because there was the world's first anti-aging supplement, dietary supplement, which we didn't even call activators yet, released 6 years before. Again, we are first to the game. very much in our favor and important. So here, my friends, is the press release for when Google and Apple and Genentech came together and formed something called Calico Labs. And it was on September 18th of 2013. And I'll read here what it says. Announcing this new investment, Larry Page, the CEO of Google, said illness and aging affect all our families. With some longer-term moonshot thinking around healthcare and biotechnology, I believe we can improve millions of lives. It's possible to imagine anyone better than Art, one of the leading scientists, entrepreneurs, and CEOs of our generation, who is the guy that is involved in Genentech. And it said, and I'll skip ahead, I've devoted much of my life to science and technology with the goal of improving human health. Okay. Larry's focus on outsizing improvements has inspired me, and I'm tremendously excited about what's next. So Apple, Google, and Genentech started Calico Labs. Look up calicolabs.com for your entertainment, boys and girls. I encourage you to go to calicolabs.com and look at what they're doing. They have yet to release a drug to market, and it's been 11 years plus because the risk to benefit ratio is still too significant on the risk side. And they've literally spent trillions of dollars with Nobel laureate scientists, the best researchers in the world, and some of the hugest financiers in the world, and they don't have a single product to market yet. And we put Protandim came out, guys, in 2003. We have a 21-year head start on these people. The richest minds and the richest people in the world still don't have. They haven't figured it out yet, but they're trying to find activating drugs. We are, again, way ahead of the market. Now, it didn't stop there. Jeff Bezos, when he started this company back in January of 2022, so just a little over 2 years ago, he was the richest man in the world. He started Altos Labs. Look up altoslabs.com. And let me read for you what they said here, what their goal is. Altos Labs launches with the goal to transform medicine. I'm going to read that slow just so you get the impact here. Their goal is to transform medicine through cellular rejuvenation programming. And then if you look at the bottom right side of this slide, it says Altos Labs is a new biotechnology company focused on cellular rejuvenation programming to restore cell health and resiliency. Get this, this is the big message here, with the goal of reversing disease to transform what? Medicine. Their entire goal is to transform medicine by manipulating the human DNA strain. I'm not going to say that I would not take on that project, but why are they? Because it's profitable. Here's the situation, boys and girls, and I'm not saying that disrespectfully. I'm saying that because I'm speaking at you as youthful people hearing about maybe a new way of looking at what we already have. This is the conversation, the difference between supplementation and activation. So let's just look on our side of the fence, where we're talking about people, companies that are looking at a nutraceutical approach, not a pharmaceutical approach. We've got two camps, supplements and activators. What is a supplement? A supplement is focusing on a problem of deficiency. So the human body is deficient in something, some kind of nutrient, whether it's a vitamin, a mineral, a micronutrient, oxygen, blood, whatever it is. The entire focus of a supplement is to overcome a deficiency. And the benefit or the solution is actually in the bottle, and it's based on dosage. So dosage meaning a small person needs less than a big person, or somebody who's very deficient needs more than someone who's just kind of deficient. Well, what's the risk associated with that? What is the potential risk factors? Well, it's very simple. The risk factors here is too little or too much, meaning if it's too little, it doesn't overcome the deficiency, you're still stuck with the problem. Or if it's too much, you can have a side effect and cause a problem. That's the limitation of supplementation, but it's focusing on reversing a deficiency. Does it work? Heck yes, it works. It's been working for over 60 years. That's where the vitamin market comes in. But most people, when they take supplements, even right now in 2024, they're creating very colorful, very expensive urine because the body doesn't know what to do with supplements. You can take the solution or you can make the solution. And I want to talk about the latter, making the solution. So we're talking now about activation. What's the problem? Slowed or dormant pathways in the human body. And the benefit or the solution is actually in the body based on activating the DNA pathway of the cell. So remember what Altos was doing to create gene-altering medications or changing the human biological pathway to transform medicine. Activation, from our perspective, is to transform human health. Altos Labs and Calico Labs, they're not looking to transform human health. They're looking to transform medicine, because you cannot patent something that is natural unless it's a unique combination. That's not their game. They are patenting something synthetic because there's billions and billions and billions and billions and billions more profit in something like that, which is why the richest people in the world, the most decorated Nobel scientists and researchers, are focusing on transforming medicine, while this very cool, noble company in Lehigh, Utah is focusing on transforming health. This is the greatest breakthrough in human health that you've never heard of. Activation. Most people aren't familiar with this concept, which is where we own the conversation. So what are the risk factors of activation? Well, the answer is finding out too late about it. That's literally the only risk factor, or the only side effect is too bad, so sad. Once you're dead, it's too late. If somebody you don't even know, you don't know whether they're alive or dead, put a little mirror in front of their face, and if you hold it in front of their nose or mouth for a couple seconds and you pull it back and there's fog on it, that person is still a candidate, because the only time that there's a side effect or a risk factor is when it's too late. Everyone else is game on for you, which means 8 billion potential people in your business or in your customer base with activation. They just need to know what it is, because people are tired of side effects and they're tired of experimental things. This is not experimental. This has social proof, a ton of it, and it's got scientific proof, a ton of it. We're a publicly traded company on the NASDAQ. We're transparent. We've got 28 medical journals that talk about the benefits of activation. People just don't know about it. That's where our opportunity comes in, because we're literally looking at LifeVantage is the activation company. And those two product stacks right there are where we are changing the world. If you look at the Protandim family there, the Protandim Tri-Synergizer, where we are lowering oxidative stress, improving the function of every cell in the human body at the DNA level, while Protandim NRF1 is giving those cells more energy to do their job for longer and more efficiently. And then the Protandim NAD Synergizer is to help the body clear out its own cellular debris and communicate with all the other cells of the body more effectively. So when you improve cell function, give it more energy, give it better communication and better debris cleaning out, you have just given the person the solution to the 3 top aging theories that are out there: the theory of oxidative stress, the theory of mitochondrial decline, and the theory of NAD or sirtuin decline. Those are the 3 most prevalent anti-aging strategies, because the people that are suffering from those are aging the wrong way. They're aging prematurely. We have the solution for both. Well, then you throw on top of that our True Science Liquid Collagen, and you look at every single first of all, the most prevalent protein in the human body is collagen. In fact, 1/3, 33% of all the proteins you have in your body are collagen. It's the most prevalent collagen in your body right now, and everything that maintains structure is held together by collagen. That's how important it is. And after the age of 30, we lose 1 to 2% of it every single year. So you take Protandim NRF2 Synergizer as the foundation, lowering the stress of every cell in your body, and you throw on top of that the ability to not only supplement collagen, but make our own, activating the collagen pathway. So now we're activating NRF2, NRF1, NAD, and our fibroblasts, making more collagen. That, my friends, is the DNA pathway to health, wellness, and longevity for the human species. And no one, I repeat, no one on either side, the pharmaceutical side or the nutraceutical side, can compete with us. We are first, and we will always be first. But we do need more companies, more people talking about it. And let's start with more people in our company. And as our company gets bigger and more people figure this thing out, because competition is necessary for massive success. but because the person who started it or invented it will always be first, always be the benchmark, always be what everyone else is compared to. That is already us. We are the activation company. So the question is, how do we know if we're on target with this message? Well, last year in 2023, we rang the closing bell of NASDAQ. And this company or this group of people decided to do a hit piece on us. They said how a supplement company became a haven for health misinformation. The irony, their entire article is misinformation. However, if nobody is criticizing you, no one is gaslighting you, then you're probably not over the target, and you're probably, well, we are not only over the target, we are ready to dominate. We just need more people to experience this and to understand it. So I actually created another slide here. So if you look at that link at the bottom, I don't know, I think I will. I think, let's see, what time do we got? Yeah, we got, so I'm going to click on this and show you what this website looks like. So it's from the, it's a website stat. And again, how a supplement company became a haven for health misinformation. Let me share with you what they said. It's pretty entertaining, actually. This is the article that they said. On a Friday afternoon in July, as many New Yorkers fled the scorching city streets, a couple of dozen out-of-towners descended on Times Square. They came bearing gold letter balloons spelling out LFVN. Many of you were part of our team who did that, so thank you for being the focus of an article like this. Oh my gosh. The stock symbol for LifeVantage, the company they'd come to promote, and foam cutouts of its navy blue supplement bottles. It's a pretty gifted writer here, but they're not being very nice. LifeVantage's chief Executive Officer Steve Fife rang the NASDAQ's exchange closing bell, a celebration of the Utah-based company's new products and rewards program. Displayed on the side of the 7-story NASDAQ building were advertisements promoting the company's dietary supplements and their proven power to optimize health. Get this, then they go on. At first glance, LifeVantage, worth some $84 million, they severely undershot, but that's the nature of when they do things like this. Looks decidedly mainstream. It boasts plaudits from NASDAQ, blue chip investors like Fidelity and BlackRock and Aaron Brockovich. First of all, Fidelity and BlackRock don't invest in craziness. All right, that's how they became who they are. And Aaron Brockovich, the name named after, or the movie named after her, doesn't get on board with some scam artists or things that aren't potentially huge, and they are. So the iconic crusader for corporate accountability sits on its board of directors. Its products are widely available. A bottle of its main supplement goes for around $56 on Amazon. Not legally. We're not supposed to do that, and people that are doing that, they get taken down. So anyway, but in interviews with LifeVantage distributors, executives, and former scientists, as well as in court filings, documents obtained through records requests and online material, a pattern emerged. Ooh, the plot thickens. In the way the company and its representatives have sought to straddle the mainstream and the fringe. It goes on. LifeVantage and some of its distributors promote and in many cases distort scientific evidence to tout the benefits of the products they're selling. So meanwhile, as they're writing this, we went through COVID, which was a big scamdemic and nothing scientific, but they don't say anything about that. Nobody says anything about that because it was all the profit that those companies were making. So when there is good news out there, you're going to have critics. Here's the way I look at it. If you don't have critics, you're not doing anything worthwhile. So bring the critics on, because statnews.com doesn't even know what they're talking about. There's not a scientist in the group. These are reporters, and these are not very good reporters, but they can say whatever they want. But when they accuse us of stuff like this article, which they said, now a supplement company became a haven for health misinformation, this entire article is misinformation. And why do I share that with you? Because that's exactly how we know we are over the target. When we have criticism and they gaslight about us, it's a big, big deal. So let's pray for more negative criticism, and it's coming. The bigger our voice gets, the bigger our potential gets, and the bigger opportunity we share with the world to change human longevity, the more fiery arrows we're going to take. And that's how we are measured by our critics. How many fiery arrows? Because the people that are criticized the most have the biggest statues erected in their honor. Because and here's also a twist, they don't ever, ever, ever erect statues in honor of critics. They erect statues in honor of the people critics criticize. It's always been that way. It always will be. So bring on the critics, because we have the greatest human breakthrough in health technology that the world has ever seen in the last century, and no one, literally no one, knows about it. That's our challenge, boys and girls. I don't know why I keep saying that, because I'm so excited. So again, no disrespect at all, but that is the challenge that we all have. And that's how we know that we're over the target, because we are making waves and we are first. We have 4 products to market when the biggest, brightest, richest minds in the world and their Nobel laureate scientists and their over 11 years of research have 0, because there's no side effect to activation other than learning about it too late. That's the problem that we have. So I'm going to stop sharing. Thank you. So I can see you guys, and thank you personally for checking in, because we have in our hands the most important breakthrough that no one's ever heard of, generally speaking. But the more people hear about it, the more people can capitalize on it. Because now I want to go back to those garage doors of Apple and Google and Amazon, because those people who had the opportunity to capitalize on it, it's probably the biggest regret they've ever lived through, is that they didn't listen to Steve Jobs. They didn't listen to Larry Page. They didn't listen to Elon Musk, or they didn't listen to Jeff Bezos, or all the other people that have been revolutionary. Or the lady who invented Spanx, she had the same kind of thing. People change the world, and not everybody needs those products. But everybody who is a human being needs, at some point in their life, our products, which makes our opportunity so much grander, and the ability to change and influence human health and longevity. And it's the best kept secret out there. That's where we need to step it up. That's where we need to share with people, because it's not whether they receive it or not. It's whether or not we give them the option. Because here's something I guarantee. Once the word gets out, once we've got competitors in our space on the pharmaceutical side and on the nutraceutical side, and the world knows about activation, we're going to find people that are going to find out that we knew about it and we didn't share it with them. They heard about it from someone else, and that's going to be a very awkward conversation. I don't want to have it with anybody, which is why I'm sharing it with everybody eventually in time. And I challenge all of you to do the same. So thank you guys so much. We got to end. We're going to head over to Dr. Bruce Holmes's office and do an opportunity meeting for all the guests that are coming. Thank you all for participating tonight. Thank you for attending. As soon as we upload this onto the YouTube channel, please send it to your leaders. Please send it everywhere you have, because we are literally sitting on the greatest discovery known to mankind as far as human longevity, and very few people literally know about it. That's where we come in. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night. We'll see you next week.